I've just always got up in the morning and wanted to fill the day with as much fun as possible, you know? I think it's funny, life. It's amusing, because we take everything so seriously, we care about everything passionately, we have fights, wars, worry about little things, and then we die. But there's nothing, it was pointless. We return to the stars. So I've always thought I want to fill my days with fun. Well, I think life is precious because you can't watch it again. But once you realise you're not going to be around forever, I think that's what makes life so magical. One day you'll eat your last meal, smell your last flower, hug your friend for the very last time. You might not know it's the last time. So that's why you should do everything you love with passion, you know? Treasure the few years you've got, because that's all there is.
You have ruminated on death. You've got a long way to go yet, but what will death be like when it comes?
Well, the best thing about death is you won't know about it. It's like being stupid, it's only painful for others. So I'm not bothered by it. We do ponder the universe, and it always comes back to us. It always comes back to us, you know, why are we here? We just are. The chance of us being born is 400 trillion to 1, and there's loads of reasons why you can say we're here. It's more what you do with it. It's to eat and drink and make friends and have fun. Make people laugh. Oh, there's no better privilege. When you're more unhappy than happy, there's something wrong and you've got to do something about it. Parties don't last forever, nor should they. People would hate to live forever. They'd hate it. You know, growing up, we were poor and working class. My dad was a labourer. We lived in a council estate. My mum was a housewife. But I didn't really know. Everyone was in the same boat, so I didn't know I was poor. I didn't know I was working class till I got to university and everyone spoke like the Queen. I didn't know what it was, really. Bob Dylan said a man can consider himself a success if he gets up in the morning, goes to bed at night, and in between does exactly what he wants. And I've always done that. I've always done that. I've never worried when I was trying to be a pop star on no money. I never moaned about, I never borrowed money. It was my lot. I chose to do that. And I've always done things the way I wanted it. I've never craved money. I've never been proud of money per se. In fact, the first few years of getting a newfound wealth, I felt guilty about it. And I still feel a little bit guilty about it because there was a nobility in poverty, really. And so I've always thought that if I'm going to be rich and famous, then I've got to be proud of how I made my money and how I got my fame. And money making money, I've never understood it. Do you know, I've never understood it. I don't play those games. I don't try and make more money. I've never tried to make money. Feared fame. When I first started doing this, and I came to it late and almost accidentally, and I suppose organically. I got a little radio job when I was about 37, 38, after I'd worked in an office for 10 years. And then I started popping up, and then it sort of grew from there. I got a little bit on a thing called the 11 o'clock show. Then The Office came. I knew if I was a famous actor or comedian that I'd be recognised, but I wanted people to know that was an upshot of it. I wasn't doing it to be famous, and I sort of feared it. I didn't sign that contract, with the devil, make me famous and you can go through my bins. And do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I sort of worried. I think I worried about it because I thought, they say horrible things about famous people, and you don't want to have horrible things said about you. It happens all the time. Twitter, which is like reading every toilet wall in the world at once.
Right.
And you shouldn't know those things about you. You shouldn't hear things about you in normal life. You shouldn't be famous. It's odd to be famous. And I sort of feared that. And for the first few years, I thought, that's not fair, because I thought reputation is everything. And now I realise it's not. Reputation is what strangers think of you.
Right.
And who you really are is what your friends and family think of you, and they stay forever. So I just don't care now. It's also subjective, that the only real thing is what you do with it, People don't respect facts anymore. Everyone knows my opinion is worth as much as your opinion, but now there's this myth that my opinion is worth as much as your fact, which just isn't true. And it's going to send us back into the dark ages. Just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. I was already a comedian before I sort of decided I'd become a comedian. It just sort of happened. I went on the radio show and I was meant to be the head of speech. I had a normal job. I worked in an office for 10 years, which is what I based the office on. And then I got a job at a radio station. I was meant to go in and sort of be writing little things for the DJs. And because I'm so lazy, I thought, I'll just do this myself. So I went in, I popped up, I did funny things. The bosses said, listen, you're rubbish at your real job, so just do that. And it grew, and I became like the comedy turn on XFM, got discovered by Channel 4 and all that. Nothing gives me an adrenaline rush like coming up with an idea. Honestly, I can't sleep. And if I think of it before I go to bed, I've got to work it over so I don't forget it when I wake up. And that's a lovely thing to wake up to. Oh, that idea,
right.
You know? And it doesn't get any better than when it's in your head, really. And then you just got to ruin it as little as possible. Now, honestly, when I first started this, I thought I was a writer, right? And I probably only directed because I realised that I could protect the writing. And then I produced to protect the directing. It's all to protect the idea, everything. And I play that guy because I know how to do that guy in my head. It's trying to realise the vision.
You're not afraid of dividing opinion. You're not afraid of, some people saying I disagree with you and some people saying I agree with you.
If everyone's agreeing with you, you're in an echo chamber. You've just chosen your people to speak to. I mean, the important thing for me is no one has to laugh. In fact, I embrace the gasps as much as the laughs, because that means they were listening. An offence is good. Offence makes people think. It makes them come up with another argument. I'm just tired of people saying, I'm offended. I want to say, so what? That just means you're just telling me your feelings. I'm never trying to offend. I think I got that reputation from the Golden Globes, maybe, where I gently ribbed some of the richest, most privileged, beautiful people in the world. A joke about a bad thing isn't the same as the bad thing. It's not even necessarily condoning the bad thing. It could be anti the bad thing. It could be veiled in irony or satirical or whatever, but I think people have to, look at what a joke is, what the real target is. I'd only say I'm controversial because I talk about controversial subject. It's funny because comedians always get asked, is there anything you wouldn't joke about? But journalists don't get asked, is there anything you wouldn't write about? And all we're doing is discussing a subject, but very quickly and hopefully with a punchline. Comedy comes from a good or a bad place. And Twitter was the one that sort of started popularity being more important than being right, and people have picked up symptoms of that in all walks of life, because it's all about likes, retweets, block someone that doesn't agree with you, so you create your own echo chamber, same as Facebook. How arrogant are you to think that you deserve to go through life with no one ever saying anything that you don't agree with or like? People mistake sometimes demanding equality, right, by not being part of humour.
Yeah.
It's actually demanding privilege. I want people to stop saying that joke's offensive.
Yeah.
I want them to start saying I found it offensive, because you've got to own the emotion, because that's all it is. You're just telling me how you feel about it.
Yeah.